What is going on, UDK Sports Talk family and Mets Nation? Today I wanted to come on here and react to the Mets game that happened last night, in which our New York Mets further extended their losing streak to 12 by losing to the Minnesota Twins by a score of 5-3 and blowing this game late. Shout out to Devin Williams for making that possible. But with that being said, quick rapid fire takes. Let's get into it, man. So number one, I thought Francisco Lindor, he's slowly coming out of his slump. He hit a 3-run home run. I thought he looked really good at the plate yesterday. He had some good at-bats, hit the ball hard, made a great play defensively that kept the game where it was at that time. I thought Francisco Lindor had a great game yesterday. I really hope he continues to improve and further getting himself back to that level that we all know him and are accustomed to him being. My next takeaway, I thought Nolan McLain looked absolutely phenomenal yesterday. He was filthy, went 5 perfect. He struck out 10, went 6 2/3. But my only caveat with Nolan McLain is later on in that game, he went with throwing the fastball heavy, and I really felt he needed to mix in that sweeper a lot more. Now, the one trend that I've seen with Nolan McLain, it seems like he is amazing in those first 5 innings. It's now the second time that he's went perfect through 5 innings. He did it just like 3 weeks ago against the Giants. But Nolan McLain, once we get past that 5th inning, I don't know if it's that he gets tired past the 5th inning and he doesn't hit his spots, but it seems like every time we get past this 5th inning, he gives up the big hits and he misses spots, and they punish those mistakes, man. And yesterday, our SNY Sporting Cast members, they spoke about this in terms of the Byron Buxton home run, and I thought it was spot on. When he went up and in on him, he said, "My bad, you already know he's going to go outside the next pitch," and Byron Buxton took advantage of it, hit a 2-run home run, which put the Twins right back into the game. But remember, I said this before, man, baseball gives and baseball takes. And yesterday, when Devin Williams got into the mound, he had non-competitive at-bats. And what does that mean? When he was on the mound, he wasn't hitting his spots. None of his pitches were remotely close, and his changeup was even remotely respectable for being in the strike zone. So hitters, if you're not spotting up and you can't spot your changeup, I'm sitting on fastball, and you know what? I'm just going to take and let the walkathon begin. And yesterday, letting those walks leading to the bases being loaded, to then follow that up with that BS ground ball that just went over Bichette's reach, that was just out of reach of Lindor, for the Twins to go ahead on that base hit perfectly explains what could go wrong, can go wrong for our New York Mets. And you think about it through this lens, earlier in the game, in the 4th inning, runners on first and second, Carson Bench up to bat, hits a ball down the line, right at the warning track, hits it well, we're out of the inning. Could have been a second 3-run home run. But then you fast forward to the end of the game, and you have that hit as being the main hit that put the Twins out in front. Outstanding New York Mets. The Mets fan base is absolutely frying David Stearns right now and are frying Carlos Mendoza. I will say this, man. I really did feel like, and I know I sound like a broken record when talking about this, I really did feel like the Mets were warranted in getting rid of those older guys from the core because they had collapsed with them multiple times before. And something obviously wasn't working. Now, the 2 guys I would have never let get away were Alonso and Diaz, okay? But I get it now. Diaz, that move looks bad now because he has the injury to his right elbow. He's going to be out for, 3 months? But with that being said, you try to replace him with Devin Williams, and you try to help out the bullpen by adding Luke Weaver. You try to get guys on the Moneyball type of deals, and they are not working. Luke Weaver has not pitched well, and Devin Williams has reverted back to the guy we saw with the Yankees, which is the guy that I did not want here. Again, I spoke about this in a previous video as to why he's not effective anymore. But yesterday, to be that non-competitive when pitching, it is clear now he is not a closer. And Luke Weaver is not even a setup guy no more. They are middle-of-the-game type of guys now. And that's who you're paying some pretty hefty money to, okay? Now, the Jorge Polanco contract, I'm still going to go down with this. I know he's been injured. Bad contract. So if people are complaining about the players that he brought in, that is a very valid argument. But when you look at what happened yesterday, it just looks like with the New York Mets, whatever could go wrong, can go wrong. And then you have to think with Nolan McLain going up and in and saying, "My bad," and then going outside the next pitch. And Byron Buxton already knew that. So, again, hits it out the park, which I'm going to say this. That wasn't really a bad pitch. He pulled an outside cutting fastball. An outside cutting fastball. Man, baseball gives and baseball takes. And right now, the New York Mets, when they hit the ball hard, they're right at somebody. They cannot get the bounce. They're just not playing bad baseball. They're not even getting the bounces on top of that. So, there you go. 5-3, another loss Can we make this 13? This is ridiculous now, because I'm going back to this. What if this team lost 20 in a row? At this rate, the bullpen is horrible. You don't have anybody outside of Brazuban. And I will say this. No. I'm not going to go ahead and say that like that. Warren looked phenomenal yesterday. I ain't going to lie. His stuff looked electric. That might have to be your closer. I'm not even going to lie to you. You're going to have to pull Devin Williams in that spot. 100%. But outside of Brazuban and Warren and Raley, man, I don't know what we're getting from the bullpen right now. I really have no idea. It's just a rough time for the New York Mets. Welcome to being a Mets fan. We are the New York Jets, but of the MLB. And I'm just going to say, because I'm a diehard fan, man, let's go Mets. And you know what? Even with as bad of a losing streak as this is, I'm still going to say that the season is not over. Wait till we get Soto back and we go on this run, baby.